Hello and welcome to a new edition of Interview with Irene. And today my lovely guest is author Carol Cassandra. Thank you so much for joining us, Carol.
Thank you for having me, Irene. I'm happy to be here, and I can't wait to start chatting.
Yeah, hope you enjoy your time too. So, yeah. So, how about we start by you telling us a little bit about your background?
Well, I come from a small town in Virginia called Ringgold, and I work at home, and I live with my mom and brother, and I help take care of her. And I've been writing for about 10 years now. I started right after my college graduation, and I mainly write romance books, and I have one series called Westmore. It's kind of a soap opera romance series. I have 8 volumes of that series right now, and I'm working on number 9. And I also have a standalone romance book called Going Home Again. That was the first book I ever wrote. And of course, I've published a few short stories, and I got a whole bunch of more projects in the works. And aside from writing, I also love to read, and I'm a mom to 3 fur babies, 2 dogs, and 1 cat.
Very cute. And what is it that about romance writing that drove you to write in that genre?
Let's see. Well, I never really read much romance growing up, and
Mm.
it wasn't until I read a Harlequin novel. It was a novel by Janice MacDonald. It's called Keeping Faith. I think I may have gotten it free from the book company. And so one day I just started reading that, and I just became hooked on it. So after reading that, I decided, well, maybe it's time I started my head at trying to write romance novels. And so that's how I got started writing the romance genre. And so I've been writing it in it ever since.
Very cool. And you mentioned your series is sort of a soap opera, but I've also read your blog where you talk about TV soap operas like Young and Restless and Bold and Beautiful. How did that come about?
Well, growing up, my mom, she was a fan of the shows. And of course, I
My
have my
too.
aunts, they're fans of the show. And, whenever they get together, they would always talk about what's happening and the shows. And, as a little kid, I really did get the appeal. And then I think it was just one day out of the blue, my mom, she was watching The Bold and the Beautiful. And I think one of the characters at the time was Sheila Carter, and of course the Forrester family was after her, trying to get her sent to jail. So I just sat down and started watching it one day, and I got hooked on it. Then before too long, I started watching The Young and the Restless, and so that's how I kind of got hooked on the soap operas. And it's been about 20 years since I started watching them, and I continue to watch them even till this day.
Very nice. Me too. Sometimes my mom used to watch them too, so whenever I see Young and the Restless, it's like, it's funny because it's not for children, but it kind of brings me back to my childhood because I remember my mom watching it. So,
Yeah, because you used to hear a bunch of soap opera fans talk about that's how they got their start. Their mothers watched it. That's how they
yep.
became fans of the shows themselves. So I think it's great. Just brings back memories of sitting down watching them with your parents. And so I think that's one of the things that makes soap operas, a hit with fans.
Right. Um, do you see like a reinsurgence of soap operas? I know for a while they became unpopular, but do you see them becoming popular again?
Yeah, because it's amazing how much the times have changed and the soap operas that have been canceled. Because at one time there's about
Right.
soap operas on the air, now it's just four of them left. But I think even though the soap opera genre, some people say it's dying, I think it's still popular. And people if you go on social media, you see a whole bunch of people talking about their shows and chiming in with their 2 cents. So it's still popular with the daytime viewers, and plus also with the internet and streaming services, we're seeing a
Yeah.
whole bunch of these new soap operas pop up like in the Bay and I think Ladies of the Lake. That's another popular soap opera series. So I think the soap opera genre it's still alive and well.
Yeah, that's good. I do like streaming my shows now, so I'll have to check those out. So when you mentioned you're working on book number 9 of your series, when do you think that might be released? Are you don't know yet?
Uh, well, that's still in the beginning. I'm still
Alright,
right now. I'm at chapter 3. It's me. I kind of like to
alright,
take my time, write and don't feel in a
right.
rush. But
That's
I
important.
was hoping to get it published this year, but I got a late start on it. So I'm hoping sometime next year, probably around springtime, is when I could publish it and get it out there.
That'd be fantastic. Aside from writing and reading, do you have any further interests?
Let's see, reading and writing, those are my main two interests. And then, of course, I like watching sports on TV. I like NASCAR, and then I like wrestling, WWE, and of course, I'm going to be watching AEW when that premieres. Then I'm a big fan of college basketball in Virginia. I was excited to see them win the championship this year.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. Um, I recently got into college football. Now I like watching those games now. So,
Yeah, it's a good sport. I like to watch it sometimes.
yeah,
And of course, like for college, I like to root for Virginia, Virginia Tech, and for the
yeah,
NFL Dolphins. That's always been a favorite team of mine.
and that's awesome. Any advice for future writers?
Let's see. I think the main thing is don't give up. I mean, writers, I think they don't. This day and age, I think they don't realize how tough it is to get published, whether you do self-publisher or if you go through a publisher. They don't realize how much work goes into it, and it's
I
frustrating at times. But the main advice I give to writers is that don't give up. Write your passion. You made this for. Just keep on writing stories, and your big break's gonna come.
That's wonderful. I just love that advice. And thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully, we'll have you in the future when number 9 comes out. So,
Thank you, Irene. It was a pleasure being here. I enjoyed chatting with you.
yeah, this was. I'm glad we could finally do this. So, thank you again. And thank you for joining me for another interview with Irene. I'll see you next time. Bye.